I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. The battle belongs to you, Lord. Good afternoon, everyone. As you're hopping on here, thank you for joining me. I'm gonna see a victory. We are in the midst of a teaching. Been seeing too much other stuff. It's a series on faith to change your life. Faith to change your life is what we're talking about. We are in Mark chapter 11, verses 22 through 25. Mark 11, 22 through 25 is where we are. As everyone's hopping on, just a quick review for someone who may have not seen it. Mark chapter 11, verse 22 and 23 simply tells us to have faith in God. Jesus centers our faith. He directs our faith. He gives direction to where our faith is to go. So he says, have faith in God. Don't have faith in your experiences. Don't have faith in your intelligence. Don't have faith in your gifts. Don't have faith in your talents. Don't have faith in your money. Don't have faith in your own ability. Start off with your faith in God. So we start, where's our faith? Whenever, period. Where's our faith? Our faith is in God. That's where our faith stays. Our faith is in God. Why? Why does our faith stay focused on God? Because God is our source. God is our source, right? So if we keep our faith focused on God, then whatever we need, whenever we need it, God can provide it for us because he is our source. Rather than you trying to be your own source, let God be your source. Rather than you trying to be your own source, let God be your source, regardless of what you need in life. You know, the book of Matthew says that he already knows our needs before we even ask him. But he said, I want you to still ask. I know what you need. I know what you need, but I want you to ask. Next question may be, well, why should I ask? Because asking God, it helps us to stay humble and helps us to continue to focus our attention to God. So asking him means that we're depending on him. So he says, I already know what you have need of. And by the way, there is absolutely nothing too hard for God. It's just that we have to keep fighting the fight of faith. In other words, that is the second part that we talked a little bit of what we talked about last week. That when you're believing God for something, it's going to take time sometimes. Now, rarely. I won't say rarely. Whenever God wants it to happen just like that, it'll happen just like that. But in my own experiences, most of the time, when God answers prayer, and maybe it's because of what he has to deal with me about, when God answers prayer, it takes time. It takes some time. So fighting the good fight of faith simply means I will keep my faith focused on God. For how long? Until I receive what I prayed for. And in other words, remember, I'm going to continue to think the way I'm supposed to think regarding the situation. I'm going to continue to talk the way I'm supposed to talk regarding the situation, meaning that if I'm praying, just as an example, if I'm praying to the Lord for a job, I'm not going to keep saying I can't find a job. That means that my words aren't aligning with what I'm believing God for. No, I believe that I have received my job from the Lord. Now, have you started work? No. Has it come to pass in your life yet? No. But I still believe that I've received it. I know that God heard me. And so I'm just going to believe that because he heard me, he's already sent the answer. It's coming my way. I just have to have patience and keep my mind focused on God. Keep my mind focused on the fact that I have it. Keep my words focused on the fact that I have it. And then My lifestyle has a following. Using the job situation. Let me turn this down. Using the job situation. What would be faith actions if I ask God for a job? Well, a faith action would, excuse me, a faith action would be to do what? Excuse me. Would be to have a resume made, make up a resume. A faith action would be fill out some applications. Faith action would be go on some interviews, right? You ever have a dry spot in your throat? That's what that was. Anyway, so that's what faith action would do. You know, in different situations, it's going to take different acts of faith. Depends on what you ask God for. So thoughts, words, actions. Okay. I think that's the last call. All right. Matthew 11:24. Now, we talked about having faith in God. We talked about that when our faith is in God, what we say, our words are then become powerful. When we have faith in God, our words become powerful. I'm going to read verse 23 again. I tell you the truth, you can say to this mountain, may you be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and it will happen. That's what begins to happen when you have faith in God. What you begin to say happens. That's a good sign of knowing that your faith is focused where it's supposed to be. When you start saying things and they start happening, that means your faith is in the right place. Your faith is in God. If your faith is in anything else and you're trying to say things and bring it to pass, you're not depending on God. Now you're depending on, really what people are depending on are demonic spirits. That's why the big, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Somebody may not have heard this. You know, the big manifestation thing, or the book, The Secret, or, everybody's talking about being manifestors now. I've heard somebody who really, really super positive says she's a master manifester. Well, you can manifest things by your words without having faith in God. Absolutely. But your dependence is not on God then. Your dependence is on self. And you know who's going to back your self-dependence with his army of demons? Satan. He wants he wants a person to start believing that they are master manifestors. That means that now I'm my own God. I bring about whatever I want to bring about. I'm a master manifester, right? And so when somebody becomes like that, then what will the enemy do? He's not going to try to strike them dead. No, he's not. Well, he's not going to try to do that. What he's going to do is help them to receive what they're desiring to manifest so that their faith is redirected from God to self. And once the enemy has someone who has faith in self over faith in God, then he's got you. You're done. Put a fork in it. You're done. Right? So yeah, he would definitely make sure that if you wanted to manifest some stuff, I'm going to manifest this money, manifest this job, have nothing to do with God in the equation. Yeah, he'll help you with that. He sure will, because he's the prince of the power of the air. He has influence in this world system. He can make all kinds of things come to pass, right? But that's a dangerous road to travel, because when he's through with you, he's through with you. And then all of a sudden he pulls the rug out from under somebody, and now they find themselves in a place where it's just a horrible place. So anyway, so we speak things into existence through our faith in God. All right. Verse 24. So now he says, listen, I want you to understand that all of this is done through prayer. Now, those of you who are on here, I want you to consider yourself a prayer warrior. You're a prayer warrior, right? You might have felt like, well, I really don't know how to pray. I don't know if I really know how to pray, and I don't, all this. Nope. You are a prayer warrior, right? So what does that mean? That means that you are a disciplined person, woman or man, of prayer. You're a disciplined man or woman of prayer. Got it? So he says, I tell you in verse 24, now that your faith is in God, You can pray for anything, and if you believe that you've received it, it will be yours. See, listen to that. When you have faith in God, Jesus promises you can pray for anything, and if you believe that you've received it, it will be yours. So what is the two steps? Let's say three steps. Let's say 3 steps of prayer. 3 steps of prayer. Number 1, have faith in God. Have faith in God. For somebody who said, I don't know how to pray, we're going to make this real simple today. Jesus made it real simple. He said, first, make sure your faith is in God for the answer of what you want. You go to God, right? Number 1, have faith in God. Number 1, have faith in God. Number 2, humble yourself to ask God for it. Don't just strike out trying to do it on your own. See that? What does that say? I know somebody can figure this out. If I strike out and try to do anything on my own, that means I'm not depending on God. And if I'm not depending on God, who am I depending on? Myself. So if there's anything that I desire to do, anything from the personal things, be a good husband, be a good father, to ministry, be a godly pastor, to let's say I just have a desire to make more money. I have a desire to earn more money, and I want to start a business, and I have just this leading that I want to start a business. Well, I need to go to God first about it. I don't need to go to the internet. I don't need to go to a mentor. I don't need to try to sit down and figure out what it is, right, that I want to do. No, I go to God first and let him. First of all, Father, is it your will that I start a business? Okay, you sense that it is his will. Secondly, then, what is it that you want me to do? See, that's dependence on God. So, number one, 3 steps of prayer. Number 1, have faith in God. Number 2, ask God for it. Number 3, believe until you receive it. Those of you who are on here now, you are now far beyond most people's understanding of prayer. Yep. Most people just think praying to God is okay, it's just whatever random, blah. No, I have faith in God. I have faith in God. Number 1, I know I'm repeating myself. Y'all know how I do. Number 1, have faith in God. Number 2, ask God for it. Number 3, believe until you receive it. And remember, belief is all inclusive. Belief is all inclusive. Have faith in God. Ask him for it. Let it come out of your mouth. Ask him, Father, I need help with. Father, I desire this. Father, I need this. Father, I want this. Ask God for it. Number 1. Have faith in God. Number 1. Ask God for it. Number 2. Number 3. Believe. I said that 3 times. Believe. That's because sometimes it takes time. Believe until you receive what God has for you. And believing is all inclusive. Okay? Believing, remember, it includes what? 3 aspects. It includes the way you think, the way you talk, and then the way you live. That's how you know if you really believe something. Your thinking changes, your talking changes, and the actions you take towards what you're praying for changes. All right? So, I tell you, verse 24, Jesus said, I tell you, you can pray for anything, and if you believe that you've received it, it will be yours. Now, when he says anything, the presumption here is that you're praying for anything that's of God, right? You're not praying for, I'm praying that you give me a way to, a strategy to rob the bank. No, that's not what he's talking about when he says anything. He's talking about anything that's within the will, the boundaries of how God does things. Anything that's in the will or the boundaries of the kingdom of God, not Not anything, but anything that's within the boundaries of the kingdom of God. So if you had to take a quick pop quiz, that's hard to say, a quick pop quiz, all right? What would number one be in 3 steps of prayer? What's number one? I hope you can say it to yourself. I got to have faith in God. That's number one. What's number two? I got to ask God for it. Now listen, I can't mentally think about it. I literally have to ask him for it. Just like you would, if you sitting down with a friend, you just can't look at them. Mental telepathy, although God knows your needs. Mental telepathy, he or she knows what I'm asking them for. No, you got to open up your mouth and ask for it, right? So number two, ask God for it. What's number three? Let's see if somebody put it in there. But you got to put it in the comments. You got to put it correctly, though. Don't you just? What's step one? Have faith in God. Step two, ask God for it. What is step three? Let me see who the first person that gets it right. I know Minister Tova gonna have it, so believe until you see it. Okay, believe until you see it. You know what, Donna? I'm gonna give you half a credit on believe until you see it. Leah said believe. Okay, I'm gonna give you half a credit, half a point. Can't get a full point yet. You're like, what does he talk about? No, the answer is believe until you see it, until you have it. 3 believes. Why do we say 3 believes? Because I want you to remember that you got to keep believing, not just for a not just good. She said good try. Not just believe like, okay, I'm gonna believe for a little while. I didn't get it. Never mind. Nope. Believe. Thank you, Sister Lane. Believe until you receive it. Because what is that? What is that saying? Listen, believe it until you receive it, and you keep on believing, and you keep on believing, and I don't see it yet, and I'm gonna keep on believing. And June passes and I'm going to keep on believing. And November passes and I'm going to keep on believing. And 2024 comes in and it still hadn't come. I'm going to keep on believing until I receive it. That is biblical faith. All right. So you got it. You ready to pray now. So now when you look around your life, what needs to be changed in your life? That's what this series is about. Faith to change your life. You have the 3 steps to change your life. What areas of life do you need to see change? And now you have the 3 steps to do it. Do this for the rest of your life, and you and God will be working together in order to bring about his will in your life and in the lives of other people. All right. I love y'all. I will see you tomorrow at noon, and we go pick up from here. God bless you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.